More power is a good thing, right? Now, there's some people that want to limit the power we have on our electric mountain bikes. Oh, don't mind me just having a little snack. And then there are others who are really pushing the limits. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, this video is going to be about the newest DJI Avinox firmware update, which brought in some cool new features, but the most important one being that you can now get 1,000 watts of peak power in turbo mode. Previously it was 850 watts, so it's quite a big jump. It's the same amount of power that you used to get in the boost mode for 30 seconds, but now you can have it in the turbo mode all the time, as much as you like. So as you might know, I have the Amflow PL Carbon, and that is going to be what we're testing this new update on today. But of course, if you have any other bike that's powered by the DJI Avinox motor, the update will also be available on that, which is sick. And there's some really cool bikes coming out with that motor now. Stuff from Forbidden, from Uno, the new Uno Myth looks sick. And some other smaller brands like T-Wing and a few others. So yeah, exciting stuff is happening. So before we get into the whole 1,000 watt first ride test / preview chat, I want to take you through a couple of other changes that got made with this new firmware update, because I think they're really nice touches. So let's take a quick look at them now. The first one that I want to talk about is that you can now have up to 8 different stats on one of the stat screens at a time. I think before it was only 4. I would have 8, but I've got these 2 graphs at the bottom. So yeah, I've only got 6 at the moment, but you can put 8 on there, which is sick. The next thing is that you can change your custom assist modes so easily. Look, I can literally change the torque just by going on the settings of the bike, which normally on a lot of other brands you need to do in the app. So I think that's really sick that you can do it directly on the bike. It's really easy. You can literally do it out on the trail if you need to match stats to someone else's bike. And the other new change they've made that I love is to use the walk assist. You used to have to hold down the bottom button and then press it again. Now all you need to do is just hold down the bottom button and it starts going. It kind of annoyed me when you had to press the button twice. So let's say I'm in trail mode now. I just press and hold. Epic. So I guess there's only one thing left to do now, and that is go out on the trails and try this 1,000 watts of peak power in turbo mode and see what all the fuss is about. So let's go. Guys, when I tell you this thing kicks like a fucking horse now, this thing's crazy, man. First climb, let's see what this bad boy can do. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. Bit speechless. Let me try a little wheelie. Oh, hell no. So powerful. Like so noticeably different from the 850 that it was before. Let me try launch control real quick since we've had this stage 1 remap. Boost mode. Oh my god. So I've got my trail mode set to the settings that the turbo mode used to be before. So 105 Newton meters and 850 watts. And I've got my turbo mode set to the new highest it can be, 105 Newton meters and 1,000 watts. And I'm in trail right now, putting in roughly 100 watts around there. And if I put it up to turbo, I mean, it's a crazy difference. I'm going way faster, I'm actually putting in less effort, and I'll be really interested to know how much this canes the battery life. I'm going to do a range test using this turbo mode with the 1,000 watts at some point soon. I was thinking maybe going to Bike Park Wales or somewhere like that, so that could be cool. But yeah, just going back down to trail from there, like you can really tell it's a big change. I mean, look at it, bro. It's just a shame we have the 15.5 mile an hour limit. Well, it's not a shame, it's the rules, but you know what I mean. Oh my god, there was a lot of ferns and I could not see around that corner, and there was a stump there which I hit with my front wheel, but we survived. So of course on the descending, that 1000 watts doesn't make loads of difference because most of the time you are above 15.5 miles an hour. However, something I am definitely going to do is turn off or turn all the way down the overrun on this bike, especially with this 1000 watts now, because I think the overrun on this bike is a little bit unpredictable. Sometimes it gives me a lot, sometimes it doesn't give me much at all, even when I think it's going to give me a lot. So I think it's best if for now I just turn it all the way off. Let me know what you guys think if you've got a DJI powered bike, if you like the overrun. If you don't, I think it's not quite as good as the Bosch overrun. That is, especially on their new race motor and their new EMTB Plus mode that I tried out in Italy. That is really good. So I would love to see this overrun just being a little bit more consistent. Although I said that it doesn't make that much difference on the downhill, if you are riding like a slower trail, as in below the speed limit of these bikes, like the 1000 watts does give you a really nice boost to get back up to speed if you need it. For example, coming out of a corner, if you've braked too much in a corner, something like that, and you want to get back up to speed to catch up with your friend in front, you can just put a small crank in and it will send you flying. So in a good way. So that is something that's definitely more noticeable with this added power, is you get up to speed a lot quicker. I don't know if I'm a massive fan of that, getting up to speed so quickly and so like abruptly, just because I'm so used to riding, or I was so used to riding non-e-bikes, that I really like the natural feeling of how normal bikes ride. And I think this feels a little bit, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not a normal bike, and I want my bike to ride like a normal bike on the downhill, and then on the uphill I want it to be an e-bike. So maybe I should just turn it off for the downhill. But then I don't know, what's the point of that? Now, if I remember correctly, there's quite a steep chute somewhere in here. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? Doesn't look that steep. I think this is it. But maybe I've just got a bit better where it doesn't feel as steep. Oh, it is quite steep still. Oh boy. Oh yes. Okay. Could not slow down there. It definitely is steep. Oh, you might be wondering why I'm riding on my own today. And the reason is because I have 1000 watts and no one else on any e-bike can keep up with me. So that's why, you know. I mean, look at the speed up here, bro. This is steep as well. I mean, I'm putting some power down, but bike just wants to go. Mate, that's wild. I'm really intrigued about how this is going to affect the battery life, because it's a really noticeable upgrade in power. And already in the turbo mode, you don't rinse the battery, but you go through it. So I need to get a range test done. It can just be on the speed limit everywhere now. So there's quite a few different opinions right now on e-bike motor power and what it should be limited to, like I spoke about in the intro. And obviously this bike now has been updated to 1000 watts, which is pretty massive. And then you've got brands like Bosch who have just announced their new software or firmware update, which is going to be 100 Newton meters of torque and 750 watts. And they make it very clear that they believe that 750 watts is as much as you need, and that should be the limit. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Bosch are trying to put a limit on all e-bike motors and have them all manufactured to 750 watts or capped to 750 watts, which I think has angered a lot of people, but it's also, there's a lot of people out there that agree with it. I'm not really sure where I stand at the moment. I think I'm somewhere neutral in the middle. Coming from always riding non-e-bikes, I'm happy. I would happily go back to a non-e-bike now and live a very happy life. Yeah, I don't need an e-bike to be happy. I don't need a very powerful e-bike to be happy in life. But the 1000 watts in that motor, I can't deny it, that is insanely fun, and that is what puts a smile on my face the majority of the time. I don't have children, I don't have a wife, so I get my smiles from that motor right there. and from playing football, but I know none of you mountain bikers like football, so I'll keep that to myself. So yeah, I could take it or leave it, the 1000 watts, honestly. When this motor had 850 watts of peak power in turbo mode, I was also super happy with that. And honestly, I don't think you need any more than that. You definitely don't need any more than 1000 watts. 1000 watts it's a nice line, I think, to draw it at. 750 is also like really decent. After riding those Mondrakers with the new Bosch race motor with the update on it, so the 100 Newton meters and 750 watts, like they still feel really powerful. Obviously nowhere near as powerful as this, but it feels smooth and it feels good. So I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what happens with all this power limitations talk, and I'm sure we will see soon. I think, honestly, in my opinion, it's way more important what you do as a mountain bike rider, how you act out on the trails. It can be super easy to get carried away with 1000 watts. I mean, I've done it a few times this ride when there's been like a clear fire road when no one's around. Like I just put a load of cranks in and see how fast I can go. But I think you just got to make sure that you personally ride responsibly. I'm not out here trying to tell you what to do. Like, I know the majority of you are grown adults and you know how to behave out in public, but I mean, even today I've seen some people that, I mean, I've seen one kid on a Suron in a balaclava out here today. Lol. Suron, which I wasn't expecting to see, honestly, but it was pretty funny based on the fact that I'm making this video and the first person I see is a kid on a Suron. You could have an e-bike that has 600 watts, and if you ride it at full tilt all the time past hikers and people's dogs and horses, you're going to give everyone a bad name. But if you have a bike with 1000 watts and you cruise really slowly past people and you don't, take the piss, then no one's even going to know that you got 1000 watts, are they? So yeah, those are just my thoughts personally. You can let me know what you think down in the comments. I think it'd be interesting to have a conversation about it, because I think there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different opinions. But yeah, let's do a bit more riding, and it would be really interesting actually if DJI had to backtrack now and sort of undo their 1000 watt update, tell everyone, right, I'm sorry that we've given you 1000 watts, but we've now been legally limited to 750, so you have to take it off your bike. I wonder what percentage of people would actually remove it from their bike, because I mean, just look at the amount of people that are de-restricting these things. Like, it's not enforced, is it, here? I mean, look at me now. Now, I'm not just gonna have like a policeman on a horse come down here and say, excuse me, like, we need to check that your bike is legal. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen if that whole 750 watts rule gets put into place. I guess they'll just have to do it with a firmware update, but then people would just not update their bike. Ooh. One of the things in the new firmware update is that you can now have that boost mode for 60 seconds instead of 30 seconds, or that it's customizable from 10 to 60 seconds, sorry. Which is cool, but I just wonder, now that you can get 105 Newton meters and 1000 watts in turbo mode, why do you need the boost mode? Obviously you get 120 Newton meters, 15 Newton meters more, but is that really that noticeable? And do you really need that? The only time I think I would actually want that 120 Newton meters is if I'm doing a really steep technical climb and I want all the help I can get. But at the same time, when we were at the Bosch press launch the other day for the new race motor and the new EMTB Plus mode, that EMTB Plus mode has traction control, this new traction control feature. I can't remember what they call it. Dynamic control, I think they call it. And it's like traction control in a car, right? Like, if it senses your wheel is spinning, it will stop giving you as much power, let you regain traction, and then give you more power again and keep doing that. And it actually worked really well. And I think that's what this bike needs, or something similar. Obviously they can't just call it dynamic control and slap it on here, but I think to use that 120 newton meters of torque in this boost mode is just not realistic on the steepest, loosest climbs, because you just end up wheel spinning and you just won't be able to get to the top. So yeah, I just think this boost mode is a little bit obsolete now. Not obsolete, but I think it's more of a gimmick than anything. It is fun having that extra 15 newton meters. Like, you can maybe just about tell from turbo mode to boost mode, but if they completely got rid of the boost mode right now, I wouldn't care at all. Yeah, it would make no difference to my life, because you can't customize anything on the boost mode either, whereas at least on the turbo mode you can customize all the settings, like the motor overrun, assisted start, continued assist. So the fact you can't do any of that in boost mode, I think they just need to get rid of the boost mode at this point. I understand it was a big selling point when the bike first came out, but they've just kind of nerfed it now now that they've updated the turbo mode to have 1000 watts. So at least a little graphic display thing is cool, how it does that video game thing. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Oh, I forgot to mention this cool feature, which is called chain protection. I'll read it out to you. It says, this is an experimental feature. If rear derailleur shifting is detected, power assistance will be reduced to protect the chain and extend chain lifespan. For some reason, mine keeps bugging out, and every time I turn the bike off, it toggles the chain protection off, which is really annoying, but hopefully they'll fix that. Let me know if anyone else is having that same issue, because it is annoying. But I noticed that. I notice it letting off the power when I shift, when I have that turned on, which is really cool, because I had a load of people message me over since the release of the bike, being like, oh, what's the chain and cassette wear like, because that's what I'm worried about most. And I think especially after this 1000 watt update, people are going to really start going through drivetrains more. So it's cool that they've put that feature in to help protect the drivetrain, and hopefully it should make a difference. One thing I have also noticed when I'm really going for it is that the motor does get quite hot, even to the touch. If I put my hand on the motor cover, you can tell it's warm. I've never had any overheating issues, but I know people in warmer climates that have had overheating issues, and I wonder if we're going to start seeing a lot more overheating problems now that it's got 1000 watts in turbo. And yeah, that will be interesting. Let me know if any of you guys have overheated your Amflows or any other DJI powered bikes that you might have. But yeah, here in the UK hasn't been a problem for me yet, so that's cool. A last few couple points, just maybe trying to answer a few of your questions. Compared to Bosch, is it that noticeable from the 750 to the 1000 watts? Yes, it is very noticeable. This is definitely way more powerful than that new Bosch updated Gen 5 Performance Line CX motor and the race motor. Someone asked me in the last video, how's the overrun compared to the Bosch? Bosch overrun is definitely better than this bike. It's more predictable. They've got 2 different overrun modes now. Well, technically 3 if you class the normal riding mode, where it's sort of very short overrun. And then they have the race motor overrun, which is 2 meters of overrun consistently. And then they have the new EMTB Plus mode overrun, which is customizable based on how much input you put through the cranks. So yeah, the Bosch overrun is definitely better, or the extended boost as they call it. But this motor is way more powerful. But yeah, it is a tough decision right now if you're trying to decide what e-bike to buy. If you're in the market for a new e-bike or you're looking to upgrade, there's a lot of really great choices out there. And there's some new things coming out soon as well, which are really exciting. Obviously, we just had the new Levo 4 launch. We've had Bosch release their new Kiox 400C display and their new firmware update, their new EMTB Plus mode. And then obviously we've had DJI, who are killing it with the power and the torque. And obviously their touchscreen and their wireless controllers and their battery, the weight of the bikes, everything. Fast charging. The Specialized also has fast charging, but I didn't realize that the fast charger, the massive huge fast charger, only comes with the S-Works version, which is a shame. I had a go on that Specialized the other day, the Levo. It is a really cool bike and it's a completely different bike from this bike. So yeah, it'd be cool to get one of those on the channel and give it a ride, a proper ride. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, any other questions, let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you.